Good morning. How are you doing? Hope you're well. A slightly different camera angle. I've had a bit of a shifter around, and in the process, broke my camera mount, so it's all taped up to make it function. So if suddenly the camera goes dunk, 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 like that, well, there you go. You need to buy a new camera mount. I hope you're all right. I didn't do any lives last week. I don't think. Busy week, and it's a busy week this week. I mean, busy weeks are good in their way, aren't they? Lots to do, lots going on. But equally, got to take a break sometimes, haven't you? That's really important, So I've had a nice weekend. I was on my course on Saturday, my counselling and hypnotherapy course. So on that on Saturday, and then yesterday did a bit of work, and then chilled out and watched the rugby on Saturday night, which is quite nice. It's quite nice to do that. Sat down with a beer and a takeaway, which was a bit of an indulgence. There you go. It was very nice. Things that are going on. Just to say this before I kind of get into stuff, if you could help me out, it'd be really good. Like the stuff that I do, retweet it, share it, whatever. Come and follow me at the Patreon site. I'll share the link underneath this video, and it's really important to me that it's a new venture, and I have one or two people who've subscribed. I tickly throat. I've got one or two people who've subscribed, £3 a month. I'll tell you about that. And a few people who have just signed up to the kind of free channel on it, if you like, so you can subscribe to it without it costing anything and get lots of free content. What I tend to do is I'm trying to pull things together. There's lots of things in lots of places. I'm trying to pull things together. So this, for example, will get posted there, and the social work thing I did at the weekend gets posted there. So it all ends up is accessible from one place. And then the first tier, the £3 a month tier, there are going to be more tiers coming up shortly. The first £3 a month tier gets you access to some recorded stuff just for those people, recorded meditation, guided meditation, and a podcast, of which the first episode is up for subscribers, members only. So it'd be really nice if you at least subscribe to the free bit. You know what I mean? It's in the words of the Wonder Stuff. It's your money I'm after, baby. No, it's not really. It's not really. So that's what I've been doing. And if you are in social work world out there, I know lots of people who have a listen to this are. If you go over to the Social Work Shorts YouTube website page, there's a new bite-size Social Work Shorts bite-size up there about critical thinking, and it's also a podcast available on Spotify and all of the platforms. Anyway, enough of this sales pitch. I should put a message at the start. Fast forward to 3 minutes 30 if you want to get to the real content and not the advert, shouldn't I? Because actually, when I listen to podcasts and people do this, I hate it. So there you go. Anyway, here we go. So a couple of things to say today that have been in my head, and one of them was I follow somebody on Instagram. I'll post a link to their thing as well, because it's really good. Two women who do fitness stuff, exercise stuff, but it's mainly kind of, I'll call it motivational kind of stuff that they say. And the other thing, can't remember where I got it from. Just put a little note in my calendar to say when I get to my next live, talk about this. So the first thing, which links to the second thing, which is really nice when you get a fortuitous moment like that, is we make most of our decisions based on how we feel. And that's the worst thing to make decisions on, isn't it? We make decisions on how we feel. Or how we don't feel, I suppose. I don't feel like going to the gym. I don't feel like getting up right now. I don't feel like writing this report. I don't feel like planning. I feel like eating this bag of crisps. I feel like, having a beer. You know what I mean? And we rely on our feelings to guide us in some ways. but they don't have to dictate our course of action, do they? We have to acknowledge them. So, if I'm not feeling like going to the gym, well, I suppose it's worth thinking about why I'm not feeling like that. But when I think these things, I always have David Goggins in my head. I mention him a lot. He swears a lot, Mr. Goggins. And that's not everybody's cup of tea. And he swears a lot. But, he says, if you don't want to go to the gym, go to the gym. I've said this before, probably. If you don't want to write that report, write that report. If it's the right thing to be doing, if it's the thing that you should be doing right now, you know what I mean? What about this one as well? I feel like I've got to keep going with all this stuff that I need to do. Is that the best thing for you? What about I actually need a rest periodically, 5 minutes every hour, a couple of hours every evening, big chunk on a weekend. I need that. You might not feel like it because you might feel the pressure of all the things that are to do. When you're having that rest, you might not feel like going to the gym, but the gym's good for you. You might not feel like preparing your meals, but that preparing your meals for the next week is good for you. So we have to stop relying on feelings exclusively to dictate what we do. Or we're just at the mercy of our emotions, aren't we? And being at the mercy of our emotions is not a particularly good compass to kind of live our lives by. So in planning, when we think about our planning, when we think about kind of spending some time on a Friday planning next week, spending some time maybe on a weekend, I'm just saying this because so I do, spending some time on a weekend planning our kind of nutrition and planning our exercise for the week. Doesn't matter what I feel like when I get to Wednesday tea time and my plan says go for a run. Doesn't matter what I feel like. I've got to trust my past self to have predicted for my future self, which is now my present self, the best thing that it would be for me to do on Wednesday at 5:30. And that's go for a run, obviously if I'm unwell or something dramatic changes, but just saying I don't feel like going for a run is not really a good reason, because if I'm being honest, I never feel like going for a run. Well, I don't know. That's maybe not true. I do enjoy going for a run. I do enjoy going to the gym, but it's much easier, isn't it? It's much easier not to. So I mightn't think I don't feel like going to the gym, but I might think, oh, it feels hard to go to the gym. It feels really hard to go there. But I know that if I go time and time again across, I don't know, I started exercising fairly routinely at about age, 17, 18, I'm 56 now. So that's 18, 20 or 30 or 40. That's the 38 years or whatever, if that's right, of routinely exercising and what have you. And I don't think at any point in that time could I honestly say, come on, let's get to the gym. You know what I mean? But then I get there and I enjoy it when I'm there, and I then come home and feel a lot better for it. So we make decisions based on how we feel, when we really should make decisions on what we know. So don't make decisions on how you feel. Make decisions on what you know. And what you know is rest is important first. Sleep is important first. Those two things, tie them together, because sleep is rest, but we're not just at rest when we sleep. We need to rest in other ways. So figure out your rest, figure out your sleep, then figure out your nutrition and your exercise, because those two things kind of feel as though they fit together. Then figure out your plan. You know what I mean? Figure out what your plan is, and then stop relying on how you feel about those things when you get to them, and just do them. It's one of those things, isn't it, that it's easy to explain these kind of things, and I acknowledge that it's easy to say this is what you need to do, but it is then hard to do it, But that's probably because we rely on our feelings. But here's the other thing, which is really interesting, and this is from the Instagram account that I follow. These two women who talk about stuff. I'll put it in the notes afterwards. They say stop. Don't stop doing bad things. Don't stop doing the things that are negative for you, because actually there's some pleasure in the ice cold beer, or the bag of crisps, or watching Netflix or whatever. There's pleasure in that. But so don't stop doing those things, but start to do more good things. And eventually, the good things will start to push out of your day, push out of the time you've got available, the time budget you've got. Doing good things will start to push out the bad things that mean the least to you. And I think that's really clever. So it's like for me, and I've been trying to do this. I like it when I'm trying to do something and then I spot something. It's like the internet knows. Um, I've been trying. I have a real problem on an evening. I don't have a real problem on an evening. I like a glass of wine. I like a beer. I like an IPA. I like whatever on a night. And if I've got nothing on, then I might have that first beer at about 6:30, 7. And then that means there's just more time to have more beer. Whereas if I don't have the first beer till 8 o'clock, then there's not as much time to have as much beer. And I've tried this and it really works. So the thing that I heard was something I was kind of already doing in one area and I knew it was working. That's why it resonated so much. It was like, yeah, but I'd never heard it in those terms, which is, it's interesting, isn't it? It's great when somebody puts something to you in terms that you kind of think that's captured what I'm thinking and trying to achieve, but I hadn't been able to capture it in that way. So by doing, and what I've started to do early evening is try to do other productive, helpful things. A little bit of work maybe, but not like serious heavy work, just a few nice tidy up things, or maybe I read, or maybe I go to the gym at that point, that kind of thing. And that pushes out. So I still have a drink most evenings, probably, because I like a glass of wine. But what it means is by 8 o'clock, cooking tea, have a glass of wine, have a beer. So I might have 1 or 2 glasses of wine, 1 or 2 beers. Now that could have easily been more if I'd started that, or I could have been asleep because I'd had a couple of drinks by 8:30. You know what I mean? Whereas, so it's better, isn't it? So the doing the good, I haven't stopped doing the bad things, but by doing the good things, doing more good things, I've pushed the excess, I suppose, of that out of my world because it's just not time to have 3 or 4 beers, which is not good for me. But there is time to have 1 or 2, which is nice. You know, it's just the little cans, the little Coca-Cola sized cans. So it's 2 cans is only a pint. It's not bad, really. And I know, Professor Nutt, the only safe level of alcohol consumption is no alcohol consumption. But he also does say, it is nice from time to time to have an occasional drink and to keep within our limits, those government set limits and all that stuff, isn't it? So there you go. So stop making decisions based on your emotions, based on your feelings. Start making them based on what you know to be true, to be helpful. And keep doing let's put air quotes around bad things. Keep doing the bad things, because actually some of the bad things in air quotes that we do, like have a glass of wine on a night, or a bag of crisps from time to time, or a chocolate bar from time to time, they're all right. They're all right. They're okay. Not if done to excess, but they're okay. But if you need to push some of those things out, don't just try and say, I'm going to stop doing that thing. Just do more good stuff and push the bad stuff into the margins, into the sidelines, and eventually out of time. So you just haven't got the time to do those kind of things. And you'll have done lots of good stuff in the meantime. So there you go. Unlikely I'll catch you Wednesday, I think. Busy time Wednesday. Need to be up and out very early. But probably catch you Friday, eh? Probably see you then. Just looking at my calendar, I might slip something in on a Thursday. Never know. Anyway, whenever I see you, I will see you next. Take care.